Sup everyone, welcome back to the channel. I realized that I've been making content on this channel for quite some time and I talk about pageantry and the ins and outs and the technicalities and all of those things, but I rarely talk about what I learned from pageantry on a personal level. Through the years, I have made thousands of videos, I have met hundreds of beauty queens, and it is safe to say that some of them have had a deep impact in my life, in the way that I see things, and also, why not, even in the things that I have learned. So today I wanted to put the spotlight on one of the queens that perhaps might be a little bit underrated in pageantry and share with you guys one of the biggest lessons that she taught me. Even though I have never met her in person, she is one of the queens that without a doubt managed to change my vision and how I approach pageantry as a whole. Of course, I'm talking about Beatrice Luigi Gomez. You can see that judging by the title of the video, but you might be wondering, Luis, why are you thinking about these things? Why are you emoting like that? And the answer is simply, I was thinking about Miss Universe Philippines pageant season is just about to start. I was looking back at the journeys of some of the former title holders, and when I saw Bea, all of these things and feelings came back to me. So let me tell you about this invaluable lesson that she was able to give me and hopefully so many others as well. So make yourself comfortable. This is kind of a story time. So grab your drinks, your snacks, your lip balm, and let's get into it. Whenever people tell me about Bea, I always tell them that I started her reign crying and I also ended it crying. However, for two very different reasons. In the very beginning, when Bea was crowned, I was crying out of heartbreak. And in the very end, when Bea was having her final walk, I was crying because of what she taught me. But before I spill the beans and tell you all the lessons that she gave me, I have to give you a little bit of context. Many of you might remember that I started making pageant videos on this channel in 2020, perhaps early 2021, when I first reacted to Catriona Gray and her full performance at Miss Universe. That video went so viral and honestly quite beyond my expectations, and it managed to introduce me not only to the pageant world, but also to a big part of the community that I have here today on my channel. A lot of my viewers tell me all the time, Luis, I remember discovering you back in the day with the Catriona Gray reaction video. And given the success of my reaction videos to pageantry and the newfound community that I have built here on the channel, those same viewers kept on asking me, Luis, can you react to this pageant now? Can you react to this beauty queen? Can you react to these different topics? And honestly, I just was having fun with it, so I kept on playing into it. That's how I discovered Rabia Mateo in 2021 when she was competed at Miss Universe. And that was a whole journey, the ups and downs, the emotions, the opinions. Girl, I was so into it, but you know what? That experience might be for a different video. Let me know if you want to hear it as well. The point is, fast forward to 2021, it was time for Miss Universe Philippines season once again. So Rabia was just about to crown her successor, and honestly, I was delighted and over the moon to finally, for the very first time ever, cover the Miss Universe Philippines pageant in real time, because by the time that I started making reaction videos to Rabia, she was already crowned as a title holder. So technically, I had never experienced what a Miss Universe Philippines pageant was per se. 2021 was my first edition. To say that I was invested was an understatement. First of all, the lineup in 2021 was incredible. We have queens like Katrina Di Maranan, Jasmine Umali, Kisses de la Vigne, In Bernos, Leren May Bautista, so many front runners, and it was just like every single one of them brought something so unique to the table that I couldn't really make up my mind about who I was going to support and who is more deserving than who. And we didn't have several titles like we do now. It was like one crown and that's it. Back in the day, I will cover the pageants exclusively from Canada, mainly because that's where I lived, but also because of 2020 was still around, if you know what I'm saying. But this time around with Miss Universe Philippines 2021, I decided to take it one step further, and that was that I was not satisfied anymore. I had to be the cool kid on the block. I needed more than simple reactions. I wanted to interview the candidates. I wanted to talk to them one-on-one, get their opinion, pick their brain, and just have a more interactive experience both for me and for my viewers. And that's how I went from just reacting to videos to interviewing candidates. I messaged probably like 15 of them, and a handful of them said yes to my interview, so I ended up having a small series for Miss Universe Philippines 2021 delegates here on the channel, and honestly, that was just such a good experience. Because remember, I was a newbie in the pageant world. I was just learning as I was going. I was still pretty much a fan. I wouldn't even consider myself an enthusiast or an expert or a professional. It was not my full-time career. I was just a fan. After a couple of conversations and getting to know some of the delegates, seeing them in different competitions, different public appearances and whatnot, I started to have my personal bias. And I don't know if you guys remember, but my bias in 2021 was Katrina Di Maranan. Not only I got to interview Katrina, but also I was blown away by her every single challenge, appearance, communication skills. My interview with her was a great experience, and honestly, Katrina just seemed to be an overall such a nice person. We will message sometimes behind the scenes and whatnot. I became friendly with her team and also eventually became really good friends with her manager at the time, Nico Nava, who also happened to be my manager when I was competing at Mr. Supranational in 2023. So that's how close we were. I think that it's safe to say that to a certain extent, my feelings as a pageant fan started becoming a little bit more personal towards the Katrina camp, and given the friendly vibes and the positive experience interviewing her and whatnot. Other than obviously she had what it takes to actually be a national title holder. So I believe that wholeheartedly. At that point, I simply proceeded enjoying the Miss Universe Philippines pageant 2021, and honestly, I enjoyed it with the same enthusiasm and positivity that I enjoyed Rabia Mateo's journey at Miss Universe. Although Rabia's journey was already the international edition of Miss Universe, I think that I enjoyed even more covering Miss Universe Philippines that year. So when people would ask me, Luis, what's your favorite pageant? I wouldn't even say Miss Universe. I would always say my favorite pageant is Miss Universe Philippines. But all good things must come to an end, so it was finally time for the coronation night of Miss Universe Philippines, and I was clearly rooting for Katrina Di Maranan that night. The pageant started, everything's going well, Katrina is in, we went through the swimsuit portion, evening gown, Q&A, and here we are with the final two standing. We have Katrina Di Maranan, we have Beatrice Luigi Gomez, and my heart is convinced that Katrina is going home with the crown. I'm just waiting for the final results. At the time, I was going live on Instagram, so some of you got to experience this in person, in real time, if you were watching the pageant and watching my live stream simultaneously. I was patiently waiting for the announcement, and here comes the host. He grabs the card, he opens it, and he announces, and the new Miss Universe Philippines 2021 is...
Katrina Di Maranan Taguig. Katrina Di Maranan Taguig. Katrina Di Maranan Taguig. The Miss Universe Philippines 2021
Oh my God.
Cebu City.
Beatrice Luigi Gomez. When I tell you that my face cracked, I was in shock, in disbelief. I was just all over the place. Looking back, as a new pageant fan, I had so much to learn. I think I got involved a little bit too much on a personal level, which honestly I don't really recommend. But the point is that I just didn't know how to handle it properly. I felt like, oh my God, there must be something wrong. Maybe there's a mistake with the results. Maybe the pageant is rigged. Maybe the competition is all fixed. I didn't know what to think. It was simply unfair in my mind at the time. But just like any other pageant, any other competition, I had no other choice but to accept it and to embrace it, to be honest. Of course, I still covered the next couple of months, the competition, Bea's journey, her preparation towards Miss Universe and all of those things. And I would say that overall, I was supportive of Bea publicly, but deep down, I kind of wished that the results were different. I cannot lie to you. And for the very first time ever, I noticed that I became slightly critical of Bea. For those of you who've been around the channel for quite some time, you know that I can be critical, but I'm very respectful and I'm also very diplomatic. I feel like I always gave Bea those two things. However, in a lot of my videos where I will just simply give my opinion about her or her performance or whatever is going on, I would always mention that she needs a little bit more energy, she needs to speak louder, she needs to walk better, she needs to find the right styling, we need more. And that was kind of a common thing while she was preparing. When I look back, it's almost as if I wanted her to become someone else, someone that she was not. Just like any national title holder, Bea was bound to compete at Miss Universe 2021, so the time finally came and Bea had to fly to Israel. We all remember that, right? For the very first time though, when Bea went to compete at Miss Universe, I felt like there was a shift in perhaps the public perception and the public opinion. I always gave, during her preparation, a couple of comments here and there about what I wish that she was doing instead of what she was actually doing. But during her time at Miss Universe, I felt that there was an unison when it comes to the public opinion. People were a lot more critical, people were harsh, people were, I don't know, maybe just a little bit more in sync with my opinion. And for that, I felt validated and felt like maybe I'm not delusional, and pointing out these things is not something that is just me. Clearly, based on the comments, everyone else is on the same page. We all remember where we were during the preliminary competition of Miss Universe in 2021. We're all waiting in front of the TV and boom, there she was, looking beautiful. Bea always looked absolutely beautiful, but she had a little bit of a tame performance. It was almost as if Bea had decided to stay true to herself and just be authentic rather than trying to adapt or evolve to please everyone else, all the outsiders, all of those who were so opinionated but that were not in her shoes walking on the stage of Miss Universe. Me. And I feel like for this part, right after prelims, I don't even have to single out my opinion. Everyone was pretty much on the same page. They were a little worried about the performance because Bea was keeping it low-key and she was just being herself and walking in a way that wasn't the stereotypical pageant walks that we are used to get, full of energy, full of tricks, of twirls and this and that. So Bea was a very low-key queen in a way. And by this time, rather than worrying about Bea or thinking, oh my god, what is she doing or anything like that, I was a little bit more worried about the placement overall because we had the streak for like 12 years. I had a feeling, and I shared this back in the day, that I feel like she's going to place. She's going to be up there, but I wonder how far she can go if the energy levels and the performance, the aura and all of those things are not what we were expecting. So once again, inevitably finals night comes. Here is the coronation night of Miss Universe 2021. And a couple of minutes into the show, Bea is called into the first cut of the competition. So, we can all finally breathe. We are not gonna go unplaced this year. Bea is in. Right after that, of course, we move on to the swimsuit round. She gave a solid performance. Once again, she's moving on to the next cut. Evening gown round, she comes out with a beautiful golden gown that made her look really, really good. The performance, once again, was low-key but authentic to Bea. And then the moment that I was waiting for finally comes. She's moving on to the next round. Bea is officially in the top 5. Am I dreaming? Very quickly after the announcement of the top 5, we are moving on already to the Q&A segment. Bea gives a very decent answer, and then it's finally time who the runner-ups and the winner of Miss Universe 2021 is. And I kid you not, all of these questions just bombarded my head at this particular time. What if she wins Miss Universe? What if I was wrong all along? What if my criticism was too harsh? What if I just didn't see the vision? What if I should have given her a chance? I don't know. And then obviously we had the announcement. Bea made it as a runner-up, but she was not the winner of the competition. So right after getting the results and digesting it all, a part of me was sad because I was thinking she could have won. She was so close. At the same time, I was happy with the winner. Harnaz that year was very deserving in my opinion. But I'm not gonna lie, once again, a little part of me felt validated. I knew it all along. I knew that maybe if she put a little bit more energy here, maybe if she did this trick here, maybe if she was a little bit more out there and louder, maybe she could have won. Once again, I was building scenarios and just kind of justifying my mentality and my perception of things with whatever I could get from the competition. Obviously, a top 5 placement is remarkable, so Bea came back to the Philippines eventually. She was very celebrated, very welcome at home, and of course, the media, the fans, and everyone loved her at the time, myself included. I had a very positive feeling towards her at that particular time. Especially after she made the Philippines proud. Pageant season started again, and it's time for Miss Universe Philippines 2022. Bea is preparing to pass her title. We have a new batch of queens, a very strong batch once again, and personally, I was feeling like I hope that this time around the winner fits my prototype and that it's the type of queen that I like and the type of performance and all of those things. So I was really looking forward to Miss Universe Philippines 2022. Fast forward to the finals, Beatrice is having her final walk. Of course, it's time to say goodbye to her title, to the organization, to the fans, the supporters, the sponsors, you name it, everyone. I was live on my channel watching the coronation night, and suddenly the moment that Bea came out on stage and that I saw her and I felt the emotion and I finally got the meaning of this moment that she was saying goodbye to all of us as a reigning queen. Bea is really getting me like with my feelings. What's up, Bea? I am empowering each. She's really determined to make me cry on the live stream. I realized that Bea had secured the highest placement for Miss Universe Philippines in the new era of the organization so far, and yet so many pageant fans, myself included, had been so critical of her all throughout her journey, from the moment that she was crowned up until the moment that she managed to enter the top 5 at Miss Universe. I felt like, what if we would have been supportive? What if we would have been nicer? What if we would have uplifted her instead of pointing out every single flaw, every single thing that she needed to improve, while simultaneously failing to see and acknowledge the strengths and the things that made her unique and set her apart from everyone else. At that time that she was just about to pass her title, she was the highest placing candidate for the Philippines in the new era of Miss Universe Philippines. However, she was the least followed. Even in terms of the public support and the hype and just the overall positivity towards her, I felt like we had let Bea down as a reigning title holder. And even in the middle of so much criticism and negativity, Bea still managed to stay true to herself, to stay authentic, to be genuine. You know, when all of us were being so loud, she allowed her actions to be louder than we were. And that's the moment that I realized that sometimes we need to just support the title holders, allow them to be themselves, allow them to evolve and grow through their journey. And yes, although we can provide constructive criticism and we can tell them things where they can improve, we also have to acknowledge that everyone is different, right? And there are things about Bea that make her unique and made her an interesting top 5 candidate for Miss Universe. Just like she had some things that she needed to improve, she had things that made her outstanding. And it's just simply not fair to always compare her or try to make her fit a mold that belongs to somebody else. Bea is Bea. And that's the only way that it can be. Just like Catriona is Catriona and Pia is Pia, and they can be nobody else. Pia cannot be Catriona, just like Catriona cannot be Bea, and Bea cannot be Pia. And it's just, you have to embrace and accept who you are and just roll with it. It was precisely because Bea knew who she was and she was able to ground herself and she was so self-aware. At the end of it all, she managed to become the highest placing Miss Universe delegate of this new era of Miss Universe, right? The new organization. Even up until this day, no one has managed to crack the top 5 at Miss Universe, just like Beatrice Luigi Gomez did in 2021. And ever since then, honestly, whenever people ask me, Luis, who is your bet? Who are you rooting for in the national or international competition? This applies not just to Miss Universe Philippines, but to any competition that I am following. I can tell you who my bet is, and I can tell you who I'm rooting for or hyping up. But a part of me, honestly, ever since this moment, keeps a little bit of an open mind about things might be different. I don't have to get so personal about it. I still can support someone even though she's not the winner that I predicted or that I thought will be the best one to represent the country, because at the end of the day, sometimes we root for someone that we think will excel and they don't, and sometimes you can crown someone that is completely different and they are outstanding. This experience and this lesson that I got back in the day from Bea, it made me a better pageant fan or a better content creator, because I approach the girls and my critique and my content with a little bit more of empathy. And I try to put myself in their shoes and what these people are going through. We've seen what the pressure can do to a candidate. Rabia Mateo was the perfect example, and that was just 1 year before Bea. So I didn't need to go far to understand how important support and love from the community is for the contestants. Ultimately, it's not about who is representing the country, but how they are representing the country. And that's something that is forever engraved in my heart, even up until this day. To be honest, out of all of the queens of Miss Universe Philippines new organization, Beatrice is still the one that I have never met in person, but whenever I do one day, manifesting it, hopefully I'll get to give her a hug and just thank her for the lesson that she taught me, and something that forever changed my vision about pageantry, about title holders, and even how I approach, as I said earlier, my content creation process and my personal feelings when it comes to pageantry. All right, so there you go, everyone. I thought that I will make this video a little bit more introspective, looking back at some of those lessons that we learned from our queens. I'm thinking of maybe making this like a little bit of a series where I can talk about queens that I have met, interacted with, and just overall felt like you know, they changed something in me. That's a part of pageantry that we don't highlight so much anymore, but in my opinion, It's one of the main reasons why I love pageantry. It's supposed to be inspiring, uplifting, and just serve as a reference for your life, your values, and a lot of different things. So if you want me to cover other queens, or if you're down for this, let me know in the comment section down below. While you're at it, also let me know if there's a queen that has somehow managed to influence you in a positive way or change your vision about life or anything at all. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you very soon with more content.